Friday, everybody. It is Friday, April 27th, and I am recording this video. I am sneaking it in. I'm hoping to get it finished before some very loud noise starts happening again above me. We are having the roof redone today, and because we don't have an attic in the upstairs of our house, it's all open upstairs, and so when they are doing the roof, it is extremely loud. So I think they're on lunch break. It is noon, and all of a sudden it went quiet, and I thought, okay, now's your chance. Perfect timing. So I have no idea how long of a lunch break they're going to take, but I'm going with it, and I am going to see how many stitches I can put in before the noise starts up again. I didn't know they were coming today. We knew, we had scheduled to have the roof done, and they dropped, the truck came and dropped the shingles off in the driveway a few days ago, but they hadn't really told us when they were going to start. So they showed up this morning at about 7 a.m. and have been going full out ever since 7 a.m. So it's one of those things that, it's one of those expensive things when you own a house that is a necessity. But as you're paying the bill, you think, oh, I'd really rather spend this on something else that, oops, sorry, shook the... I'd rather be spending it on something else, anything else. But one needs a roof over one's head, and I am grateful that we will have one that doesn't leak. So that is a positive thing. So as you can see today, I was hoping to work on Amtrak again today for my Stitch With Me video, but with the unexpected company on my roof, I thought that maybe something smaller that I could hold in hand in case I had to move quickly, if I only got maybe 5 or 10 minutes recorded before they started up again. I thought this would be a good project that I could maybe sneak into another part of the house that would be a little quieter than where I am right now. But so far, so good. So this is Ink Circles Forest Flower, and I have worked on this one in a Stitch With Me video back in March. Here's a picture of what it's going to look like when it's completed. It's just absolutely beautiful. I'm really, really enjoying this stitch. Now, as you can see, the part that I'm working on right now is the Brethren Blue, which is surrounding the outside of this one flower. And I have, since the last time I showed this on my floss tube video, I have completed the blue surrounding this flower, and I completed a little bit of the pale gray that's in here. So this design I am stitching on it's either a 25 or a 28 count even weave, and I'm stitching this 1/1. So because I'm able to get my camera nice and close, because my project is movable, not on a frame, I thought I would bring it up nice and close to the camera so that those of you who have never done 1/1 can see how the squares look. And if you've been intimidated about doing a project like this, I just wanted to, give a few words of encouragement that it's not as hard as you think. It's, if your lighting is good and you have, you can hold your project close enough so that you can see quite well. I really only try to do this during daylight hours or when I have a proper light behind me shining overhead, because it makes it very, very simple to see. So you can see that when you are doing it on an even weave, it's very simple to see it. And so you just do, I just want to make sure I've got the pattern right here. So I'm going to do it with my left, well, maybe do it with my right hand so you can see. So I pull that up. So I'm in the top right corner. You can see. And then instead of going over 2, it's just like miniature Ada, really. That's all it is. So you just make your tiny little X in the 4 corners. Can you see my needle there? Down in the corner there. And that's it. One tiny, perfect little stitch. It really is, once you get the hang of it, and really it's very straightforward. It's not hard to do. And as long as you can see it clearly, off to the races you go. And it's just like regular stitching on a smaller scale. So this is Brethren Blue that I am using. Speaking of which, speaking of Brethren Blue, I know everybody has been waiting if you had it on order from the various places. Brethren Blue has been very hard to find lately. Brethren Blue is a Needlearts? Yes. It's a Needlearts thread. And where is my, let me just put this down here. There it is. Okay, so you can see it's a Needlearts thread, sampler threads. And now the Brethren Blue that I'm using here is very clearly from a different dye lot than, surprise, surprise, my Brethren Blue that I ordered for my Ink Circles tapestry has come in. And the new Brethren Blue is a different, it's a slightly different color. I think it's fairly close to the skein that Letitia sent me. So I think I am going to be good to go to carry on working on that beautiful piece anytime soon. Now, believe it or not, these are actually some of the first stitches that I've been able to sit down and work on all week. I put 1 length of thread into my Modern Folk Embroidery Mystery Sal last night at about midnight, because when I sat down I thought, you know, you haven't put a single stitch in since Monday morning, and I was really feeling a little out of sorts. I have done some knitting, but I hadn't put in a single stitch on any of my cross-stitching projects. And so last night I was bound and determined, even though I was tired, that I was going to put 1 length of thread into a project, because it also crossed my mind that Sunday is high tea. Now I certainly hadn't forgotten that Sunday was high tea, but do you want to know the one thing that I did forget? I forgot to draw my winner for March's high tea. So that is something that I have to do later this afternoon. So later this afternoon, I will draw that name and I will email or private message the person who wins. You know, I really had the best of intentions to get that prize out in the middle of April, because of course one of the prizes is a Mother's Day pattern. And yeah, it's already almost the beginning of May. And of course I haven't mailed the prize package out. So the poor person who is winning it will not be able to finish their Mother's Day pattern in time for this year's Mother's Day. But hopefully they can finish it in time for next Mother's Day. So that's on the docket for this afternoon, as well as lots of sewing that I have on the go. And I have some new bags planned out, and I need to package and ship out some orders that I finished up sewing last night. And you know, the roof is going on, the sun is shining, the kids are home today because it is a PA day in the Thames Valley District School Board where my kids go to school. And so they are home today. Another reason why I'm having to be quick and possibly portable with my project, because you never know when somebody's going to need something desperately, like a snack. Nicholas's birthday is on Sunday. He's turning 10 years old. Not quite sure how on earth that happened. He is extremely excited about his birthday. I think I mentioned this before. Every day we hear about his birthday and what's going to happen on his birthday and the certain expectations he has for the plan for the day and how things are going to work that day. The exact kind of meals that he would like. Apparently hot dogs are on the menu for lunch. And my husband makes a creamy garlic pasta that has been requested for dinner. And then a homemade chocolate cake for dessert. I have the best chocolate cake recipe, and it's not my recipe. So, and I know you can find it online. So I'm going to tell you, if you ever need a really good homemade chocolate cake recipe, I don't know if you're familiar with the Pioneer Woman. She I believe started off with a blog many years ago, and now she's pretty well known. She has a television show and, you know, lots of cookbooks out and things like that. So I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. So the Pioneer Woman has a recipe for a chocolate sheet cake. And I'm pretty sure it is still on her blog. I think there's a recipe section on her blog, but it's also found in one of her first cookbooks. And I believe it's called a chocolate sheet cake, or the best chocolate cake, something like that. It's very simple. It uses, you know, ingredients that are readily found in your pantry, you know, cocoa, butter, sugar, the typical ingredients, eggs, flour, etc., etc. And the icing recipe that accompanies it is delicious. So it's a fabulous recipe. The kids love it, and it is the requested birthday cake. So there will be chocolate birthday cake for him, and he has requested the following toppings on top of said birthday cake. There will be, let's see if I can remember everything. Sprinkles. Sorry, shaking the camera there. Sprinkles, M&Ms. He wants the entire thing surrounded in Kit Kat bars. And what was the other thing? Oh, there was one more thing. I think I'm going to have to double check with the birthday boy, because it was a few weeks ago that we discussed this originally. So I think I've forgotten the other thing. It might have been gummy bears, but I can't remember. Can you imagine all of those things on top of a cake? I think it's going to be fabulous. And normally I do something simple, like I write their name with Smarties on the top of the cake. We like to keep it pretty simple around here, as long as it tastes good. So chocolate ice cream, chocolate icing, that's for dessert on Sunday when he turns 10. And then shortly after, a few weeks from now, my daughter turns 17. When we ate our Easter dinner this year, her comment was, "This is the exact dinner that I want for my birthday." So, if I can remember what we had for Easter dinner, was ham, of course, ham and broccoli, potatoes of some sort, and a cauli mash. Does anyone else make a cauli mash? It's just basically a mashed cauliflower with, you know, the usual suspects, cream and butter and those kinds of things. Listen to me going on and on and on about food. You'd think it was lunchtime or something around here. I think it is lunchtime. Time for a coffee at least anyways. Oh, I did one too many. Hang on a second. Shoot. All right, let's take that out. Oh dear. There we go. I'm gonna have to. All right. Licking my thread. I know most of you do it too, so I know you understand. Oopsie. I was pulling it out again. There. Oh, now you can see my needle minder. Mr. Handsome McSteamy there. And I did get a question the last time about, and I have answered this before, but in case you're new here, why I keep my needle minder upside down on my project. I only do that when I use Q-snaps, and the reason is because I like to keep my needle, when it's on the minder on a Q-snap, I like to keep it on the inside in the well of the fabric. This is how I put my fabric on a Q-snap. And so the back of my fabric is flush against the Q-snap. And the reason I like to keep my needle in here is because I stitch in bed a lot, and this keeps it more secure. This is the stronger part of the magnet, and it's also not likely to be brushed against anything and come off in my bed and poke me in some place it shouldn't be poking me in the middle of the night, or my husband. So that is why. All right, so we are good to go. There, okay, let's have a look here. I think things are taking shape nicely. Need another strand of Brethren Blue. So I think I had, I thought I had some loose, maybe not. Oh, I did too. Look, there it is. I knew it. I took a strand of darker, a length of the darker variegated section, because when you're stitching 1/1, it's so small, it's easy to cover a lot of area with a completely different color with the length of variegated floss. And I wanted more of the sort of slightly darker blue that you can see in here, and you can see this blue is slightly lighter. One of my flowers, this one here, is a little bit lighter in color than my other two flowers. And I of course didn't notice that until I was halfway done this flower, and then I thought, oh, you know, I must have chosen the other side of the floss when I did that flower. Now, I am certainly not in any rush to pull that out and restitch it, so it is going to stay the way it is. However, my other flower I will stitch with a slightly darker blue. So I've been using the cards to hold my floss. I was winding it up there. It's a habit. I do that with my DMC floss. I wind it up and I stick it with the rest of the bobbin. Actually, there we go. So I just use the other end for the part that I'm using. That's easy peasy. There. Okay. Now, where are we going? I love to hear comments from people when I talk about the Bargello tuck and I show what I'm doing. So just sewing it in the back and then taking an extra tiny little stitch of thread to secure it cleanly in the back. And how many people say, I've been doing that all along and I didn't know that's what it was called. It's nice to find out that you've been doing something fancy, isn't it? It's so simple. And it has a fancy name. All right, here we go. Now my thread, of course, is a lot longer, so hopefully I won't bump the arm of the thing that is holding my camera too much. Do my best. There we go. Well, you guys, I'm 21 minutes in and still no banging from my roof above. So it's nice. I think they're taking at least a half an hour lunch break. Well deserved. Those guys work hard. They have been up there and at it since 7 a.m. I think they took a short break this morning, but really, if it was 15 minutes, I don't even know. They've been working really, really hard. Oh, this is so pretty. Sometimes it's just so nice to work on a small project and see it take shape relatively quickly. I know I had said that on Monday about my modern folk embroidery, how I really enjoy all of those small motifs that make you feel like you're accomplishing something with each little one that you complete. I just love that. So I think I mentioned the weather has been really nice here. There is a bit of rain in the forecast this afternoon, but right now it's beautiful sunny day outside. It's a lot warmer than we were expecting. Feels a lot warmer, I think, because we've been so cold for so long. The daffodils are coming up. It's really quite pretty. I've been watching The Crown lately. I'm quite behind. I am still in season 2. Maybe, I don't remember, episode 3 or 4, if that. So, but I really enjoy that show. I don't have a lot of time to watch television. It's not something that John has been particularly keen on watching. Not that he doesn't like it, only that there are a lot of other things that we'd like to watch, and we have limited time together in the evening if we want to watch a show together. And generally it's very late at night and we want to just unwind and decompress. So it tends to be something not very challenging to the old brain cells. I need to catch up on FlossTube. I have had Brian's videos, Blitz Stitch, on my queue, and I really want to have a peek because I know in his last one he showed his Afghan that he's been working on, and listening to him talk about it in a Stitch With Me a month or so ago, I've been looking forward to seeing it, and I do know that in his last one he shared it, so I really need to make my family go and occupy themselves so that I can sit down and watch FlossTube for a few hours. Oh, I hear banging starting again. I just heard it. Can you hear it? Let's see how loud they get but I may have to stop this a little early today. Oh, I am at 26 minutes. We almost got a half an hour. They did not take a full half-hour break, those poor guys. Let me see if I can just finish the next 2 stitches here. Because, oh, it's been so nice to sit down and stitch. So I have got my afternoon completely scheduled out, and come 6 o'clock my time, I am going to be parking myself in my comfy chair with my pajamas on and my Afghan on my knees, and I am going to stitch all night until I fall asleep. Ooh. There, I finished that one. So now that little section's done there. So not too bad. I accomplished a little bit today, and every stitch counts. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you'll join us on the Facebook group, Friday Off the Grid. I hope that you'll share pictures of your progress, what you're working on, and what you're loving working on this weekend. And I hope that we all get a lot of progress on our projects, because, well, it's fun. Happy stitching, everybody. Happy weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Actually, oh, no, wait. I'll see you on Sunday for high tea. Have a great weekend. Happy stitching.